what we got going on around here? It is update time, and I want to share an update with you guys. It's just so many things going on around here. It's absolutely crazy. It is November right now. It's before Thanksgiving. Everything is normally frozen. There's snow on the ground, and luckily that hasn't happened yet. The GMC pickup that somebody sideswiped on me, and it got beat up by hail, so don't have time to fix that yet. That's been my daily driver, and that's got to go away pretty soon and get put in storage. And the Cameo that is over here, that's got to go away and get put in storage. The trailer has got to go away, put in storage. The OBS pickup over there has got to, I got to figure out where that's going for winter yet. All this stuff over here, the rotisserie and the flowered planter and the engine run stand, and all of that has got to go somewhere for winter. And we have to free up all this space right here. And keep in mind, people, I've been here for over 35 years. I have built everything on here with help from friends and family. This whole outside of the garage and all the beams and the gas pumps. So please don't think that I am lucky. And any of you guys know me, you know that I am not lucky. I'm the opposite of lucky. I'm very motivated, and I really love getting things done and doing things and building and adapting. And everybody asks me all the time, is like, oh, everything's going pretty good for you now, huh? No, it's not actually. Since this accident, my leg is messed up. I'm finally accepting the fact that it's probably not going to get any better. It's been 3.5 years, and it's probably not going to get any better right now. I have a limp. I use a mobility scooter, and check it out, I built this custom mobility scooter that kicks ass, and it's absolutely awesome. I ride this thing to Menards, to Quick Trip, to Target, to AutoZone. I can do all of that from here on my mobility scooter, which is awesome. So, like I say, I'm adapting well. I'm not doing that well, but I am adapting well. What is this? 52 Chevy pickup that I picked up this summer with it just absolutely smoking deal. Couldn't pass it up. What's gonna happen with this? I'm gonna take the body off of this frame, and then we're gonna take this body off the chassis, and we're gonna put this on the 54 that's in the backyard right now. And we're going to build a new frame, new suspension, new steering, new brakes, everything for this car. What is this car? This is a 61 Corvette, a friend of mine, Bob's. And he bought this car with a C4 Corvette suspension front and rear on it with an LT1 motor in it. Very state-of-the-art car at the time. It was a new power plant, new drivetrain, everything when he bought it. But somebody completely messed this whole frame and suspension up, and everything is crooked and everything is just welded out of whack. And look underneath here. Like, these are hockey pucks right here that are for our body mounts. So you got a 61 Corvette, and it's sitting on hockey pucks literally for body mounts. And look at our emergency brake cable right there. Crosby clamps, and something you would buy at Menards for holding up a fence or something like that. That is our emergency brake cables, and all of the stuff on this car was built completely wrong, and everything is twisted, and the wheelbase is wrong, the ride height is wrong, the steering radius is wrong, there is no caster in it. If you take a look, from right here, so looking at it from this direction, look at how tipped down this front suspension is right here. It's tilted down like this. It should be perfectly flat, in order for that to be perfectly flat, that will give it about 6 degrees of caster. This is your angle of your caster right here. It has 0 degrees of caster right now, and it is super wrong, everything in it. Not only that, the whole front cross member is racked in here 3/4 of an inch tipped this way, and everything on this thing is crooked. So what are we going to do? We're going to build a new frame for it. We're going to build a new frame for it from scratch, utilizing his C4 Corvette suspension components and everything as well. So we're going to do that. We're also trying to get rid of all our clutter over here, which their 4-post lift is turned into a shit collecting shelf. We're going to get rid of all that stuff. We're going to turn this into a temporary frame rack. We got all kinds of construction lumber over here for a special ops project that's off-site here. And we're building a bunch of stuff here to bring somewhere else to help with our storage solution problems and stuff as well. So this is one bay. This is a 26 by 26 bay right here. And this is also part of the bay. And this is a garage door that me and my son had airbrushed 12, 14 years ago or so. And built this whole door to be a vault door, like a bar that we went to in Grand Marais, Minnesota, and saw this really super cool vault door behind the bar. Said, why don't we do something like that? So that's where this vault door, this is a flag that I built for my dad. And yeah, he didn't make it very long after that. So it ended up back here, and we modified it to fit here. So every day I come out here, I'm like, love you, Dad. So this, we come back into this area right here, and wow, what a catastrophe. So this is a lathe project that we started years and years and years ago that just got out of control. We built everything for this and got it all done and went to fire it up and found out it's got a gear in it very similar to this. This is not the gear out of this. This is out of a LeBlanc lathe, and I'm hoping, praying that it was the same gear that this is missing. And it's literally missing the gear completely. And I did all this restoration, made all these new face plates, laser engraved all the face plates, and got all the handles and the whole rest of the machine painted and cleaned up, and new brakes and new hardware in it, and then found out that the gear in the lathe was missing. So it come to a screeching halt. It's been sitting here for about 8 years now without anything being done to it. And now we're gutting the whole box out of here, and we're going to replace that gear with a VFD drive right here. This drive will do our forward, our reversing, our speed controls, and everything else, and we won't even need to use this gear anymore, period. So in the meantime, I bought another lathe to do things that I needed to get done, and at the same time. So that's cluttering it up, and that's got to go back here. So then we got a milling machine also, and the milling machine is just used nonstop. So is the drill press. We got a rivet press over here. We got a Pullmax machine here that's all custom airbrush that is all painted and restored. And this was all rusty, crusty piece of work that we bought. I did all the airbrushing and all the templates and everything on here to make it look the elephant in the room, to make it a little bit more presentable and fit right into our decor that we got going on. These headers that are made for Lucky Guys Distilling, unfortunately, he decided to be the cheapest POS I've ever met in my life, and they came back here again, so now they're on the Pullmax machine. And we got a bunch of laser engraved stuff right here. This is where it really loses it for me, and it's driving me absolutely bonkers. Right now, the welding bench, this whole corner from here on out just gets cluttered and congested as all can be. This is supposed to be my nice clutter-free workbench for welding. This whole area here is for welding, and I have a Miller Sinkerwave 250 down here that was mounted underneath my workbench before. That one, the high frequency went out on it, so I picked up another welder that's the same, which I thought was the same, that I could rob the parts off of this one to fix this one, and this one has some different issues, but both of them are different, so now I have two welders that don't work right, but have different functions that work, so hopefully I can combine at least one of those to make one good welder. Another welder that I bought in the meantime to make up for that is the Alpha TIG, which I absolutely love. It's a dual purpose machine that with a TIG welding, but it's a dual voltage machine, I should say, not a dual purpose. It's a TIG welder, but I can weld aluminum, I can weld stainless steel with it, and it's portable, and it goes 110 to 220, and it's absolutely awesome machine. I love that. But I need a bigger one for welding thicker aluminum. So that's where I want to get one of these working. I want my dang bench back again. I want this lathe right here, this super awesome LeBlanc lathe that I picked up in the meantime. Well, that one is working. Trying to get that one going. All these shelves that I had made here came off of that machine over in the corner. And this whole backstop, which the backstop is also a fume hood that goes over the top of that, and a light and a fume hood over the top, plus our digital readout. I took all of this stuff off of that other lathe because I planned on putting this one together. But honestly, I think what I'm going to do is put all this stuff back on that other one and have the bigger lathe for doing bigger projects, and I'll probably sell this one, but I need to get that one up and running first. So that is one of the things that's going on around here, is just nonstop, is this just shuffle game. Everybody's like, oh, you're so lucky you have such all tools and equipment and everything. No, it's not about luck. It's about trading up and doing things a little bit at a time. Like I say, I've been here for 35 years now. So I have traded up and I've upgraded and I've built every single thing in here. So keep that in mind. It doesn't happen overnight, people. This is something that takes a long time to acquire this kind of things. You sell things, you buy better things. You sell more things, you buy better things again. You upgrade. Over here, we got our laser engraver. I use this all the time, and this is some of the examples of some of the laser engraving that I'm capable of doing with it. And a lot of people are like, well, why don't you do that as a business? I don't want to do just that as a business. I have so many other things going on. I don't want to do just one thing. And I want to use it as another tool that I can upgrade things to, that I can do things over the top that a lot of other people can't do. But then let me show you some of this stuff. Now, this is our fume hood right here. So this fume hood is on a pivot, which I have a fan up in the attic so that I can use it for a fume hood over my lathe right here. So when I'm doing any turning and putting oil down, I can put the fume hood right over the top of it. I can come over to my welding bench right here and have my fume hood right over my welding bench. And then I can also pull it right back into the corner right here. And I made, and this fan also comes out from the wall right here as well. So I can pull that fan out from the wall. I can also bring that fume hood over here, and I can lock that in with just one single little screw. And now that's all locked in to my laser engraver. So between the welding bench, the lathe and the laser engraver, I can get in this whole area right here with one fume hood. That's with a fan up into the attic. So this is a complete embarrassment and absolutely driving me absolutely crazy with all the parts and pieces and hardware is just lined up, and the Chevelle chassis is just getting buried with stuff and everything. And this toolbox over here is being reorganized since the toolbox that we bought in the front of the garage there and set up as a narrow 18-inch wide one so I can have most of my automotive tools there. The rest of the stuff here, this is going to have all my new tool set that I'm going to have here shortly is going to be all right here. So I'm going to reorganize all of this stuff right here, get that benches cleared off, get everything put away, unbury the Chevelle chassis that's been sitting here forever and not getting any work done to it. Lots of stuff going on over here that's all kind of hidden. We got a rivet machine right here. We have our anvil, and everything that I have on this whole side of this bench right here is all mounted with trailer hitch receivers with a bolt in the side of it right here, and that pushes, you can see this is actually a trailer hitch ball right here, and I use that for an anvil also, so you can flip it over and I can use that ball end of the trailer hitch for an anvil. There's an anvil on the top of it. These are all in, so I can interchange any of the thing. I can put this over there, I can put that over here. All of that stuff is module. And and here's another piece. This is exactly what they are right here. They're trailer hitch receivers with just a flange mounted on there and a bolt to push the 2.5-inch tube to one corner so it doesn't wiggle and wobble around. And that's what all of this stuff on this side of the bench is. And then we got our bead roller machine, and we've done just a ton of different bead rolling stuff from our panels like this that are just look like a pillow top and diamond tuck pattern and small things like that, all the way up to bigger signs like this, and then you get into a little more complicated artwork stuff. And doing things like this is all done on the bead roller machine. And speaking of that, these are one of the most badass metal fabricator guys around. Take a look at this right here of so many people. This is all a video that we got also coming up on our metal shaping classes. So allmetalshaping.com. Our friend Dan Pate of just absolutely, we got tons of footage coming up for that also. These are all metal shapers that we've met and been around this metal meet in the springtime here. So just absolutely awesome people. You're interested in doing the metal shaping and the bead rolling and everything, these are the people that you're going to hit up to learn more about. And it's absolutely phenomenal amount of talent and people that want to learn and do metal shaping things. So people are always asking me all the time, Eric, where do you learn how to do all this stuff? Well, that's one of them right there, and we got lots of videos coming up on that too. I'm just trying to rush through this as fast as I can here to kind of give you a whole feel for everything. English wheel, this is something that I had made, and me and Bobby Willard, actually, when he had worked with me when he was 18 years old, this is one of his projects that he learned how to weld on and everything as we were doing things. This swings away from the wall right here, and it pivots to the point where, let's see, we can, so this pivots from the wall, and we can push it right against the wall when we're not using it, and when we are using it, we can put it right back out to where it wants to be, but then it doesn't take up the floor space. So this is all a big, huge English wheel that weighs a ton. That is against our bridge crane column right there. What? Bridge crane? What? What the heck is a bridge crane? What is a bridge crane? This is a bridge crane. I used to install these all over the country, all over the place. So this is the bridge crane. You can roll this anywhere you want to in the whole shop, and you can roll it this way or this way. So you got your X, Y, and then your Z going up and down. So I can pick up a motor over in the corner right here, and I can put it on that workbench without touching the ground. So that's what a bridge crane is. What are these lights up here? Those are lights that that I had made for the Bridgeport that has a exhaust fume hood that goes over the top of that, but then I can pivot the lights over here to be over my shear. The shear is on wheels right here, so we can move that back and forth. The metal that I cut for the shear is underneath the workbench right here, so it's underneath our frame table. Oh, and this is a planishing hammer that's going to end up going on a pivot onto the wall as well. And then behind that is a rear end narrowing jig that we used for the rear end 9-inch that we built for that cutlass. Also, that beam and the narrowing jig I can pick up with the bridge crane and put it over on the workbench if I want to weld it up over there or over here, wherever. So that's some of the stuff. Oh, and then the garage doors. Everybody always asks about these. Is the garage doors. What is up with the garage doors? It's all about decoration that me, my son Austin, Bobby Willard had come up with. As we were doing this, we were doing a clock up here for a contest on Garage Journal about building a cool clock. And I don't know what happened, but we ended up going from the clock to the door to the side. And then Bobby's like, hey, those look like safety deposit doors. Why don't we make something like that? So then we made all these panels to make the garage door look like safety deposit doors or little safe doors or whatever. And we got some pieces that are going to finalize all this. We'll laser engrave these name plaques and stuff on there too. Probably be for another contest coming up here shortly to name your vault door and everything and see who can get on there. And we'll laser engrave something super cool and immortalize you in the Hall of Fame of Building Badazz. What is this thing? Oh, another airbrush project that we just built out of recycled material. You guys know how much we love recycled materials around here. Everything that we do, all these pieces of aluminum are all recycled. All this is recycled. This is recycled plexiglass. Yeah, I know it looks like it's steel, but it's not. It's all plexiglass. And all the steel behind it is all recycled. All of this foam here is recycled. All the steel here is recycled. All of these vents are recycled. This is Dynamat that's inside of here with a couple fans, with a cooling fan hooked up to a thermostatic switch. So as soon as the compressor starts getting warm, it turns these fans on, blows the hot air out, sucks the cold air in from the bottom here, and blows the hot air out the top. But our air compressor was super loud in here, and it's super annoying. And this is how we quieted it down and keep it cool at the same time. But half of the noise from your air compressor comes from the intake piping. This is the intake piping. It's all sealed off underneath here. It goes through the wall on the other side. And let me show you what we did. We quieted this down completely, but then we moved the noise to the other side of the wall is what happened. Is we put a regular air filter. This is another door that me and Austin had airbrushed and stuff as well, with some chain and some other airbrushing and stuff to it, and then a laser engraved thing that Bobby had made for me for my birthday. And now we're going to go into another section of the garage right here. So now we come out here, and what do we do to make that intake noise on the compressor quieter? We had an air filter out here before, Now when the compressor kicked on, that air filter would be so loud and annoying out here. It was quiet out on this side of the garage, but it wasn't on this side of the garage, and we just moved the noise out here. So I decided one day to hold a muffler, a motorcycle muffler that I had up to that, and it quieted it down drastically. So these are Cherry Bomb glass pack mufflers with an intake on the end of the muffler. Super, super simple. So effective for noise canceling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. That will take care of all your compressor noise in your shop right there. Just put an enclosure around your compressor, put the air filter with some mufflers on there. You will thank me tremendously later on. It works absolutely awesome. It's an absolute wonderful system. So we're going to keep going. We got a long ways to go yet. And this, we have our everything on this side of the shop right here is dust creating stuff. So our bandsaw is, our belt sander is, our grinder is, all of this stuff creates dust, and it's all hooked in to a central dust collection system. That's all the louder it is right there, and that's the dust collector is outside, so all of this piping is out behind the garage, and it does an okay job, I guess. It does pretty good, but when you get people that come over here to help me do a bunch of work and they forget to turn on the dust collection systems in any way, shape, or form, is what's going on right back here. So now we got a whole bunch of woodworking stuff. This is woodworking and metalworking bandsaw. I do both with it, depending on what blades that I put on it, and then for tungsten grinding and parts cleaning, you have a small little bench grinder, a couple miter saws set up on a stand right here with a dust collection system, vacuum table, and all of that is all. And keep in mind, it's an absolute catastrophe because we're doing everything for our special Black Ops project that I can't reveal right now, but coming up pretty soon. A lot of construction stuff for that. But this is set up. This right here, this whole bay inside of here is 12 by 56. And there's a lot of stuff in here, and only 12 feet wide with a short ceiling in here is very limited, but I think we've done pretty darn well for maximizing the space in here with the kind of equipment that we got going on in here. So we'll take it through. We got our miter saws, we have our buffer, and we have our sandblast cabinet, we have our table saw, we have our rivet machine, we have a slip roller, we have a hydraulic press, another hydraulic press that goes in the hydraulic press to turn it into a press brake as well. So we're working on getting that going as well to get that turned into a press brake also, so it's a press and a press brake. And we got a whole bunch of 3D printed dies that we're going to be using in our press here pretty soon too, so got a lot more coming up on that. We got Chompy the Wonder Saw. This is a hydraulic pneumatic saw that is a wet cut saw that has a sump underneath here, has coolant comes out for cutting roll cage tubing and frame tubing and stuff like that. This is all working fantastic and everything now, so we restored that completely and got that going, so that's all done. Our bandsaw right here, this is something that I'm talking about with that lathe with that VFD drive on it. This has a VFD drive on it, so it's a 3-phase motor. It has single-phase power coming into it. This is a single-phase power converter, plus it converts it to 3-phase, plus variable speed. So you don't need to change the belts anymore on it to change speeds on it. So I can cut wood or cut steel on it just via the VFD drive on it like that. So That's one of the things that the VFD drives are fantastic on. And actually the VFD drive is on this saw. It's on this saw, and it's also on the belt sander. So we have 3 VFD drives on each individual piece of equipment in here. They're all 3-phase. I don't have 3-phase power. That's how I adapt all of that stuff here. Then we get to our sheet metal bending brake. Absolutely awesome Roper Whitney 14 gauge bending brake. That's just phenomenal, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on something like this. It's been kind of a game changer for me. So that we have our sheet metal brake and a whole pile of motors getting acquired around here. It just this stuff just multiplies in here. I swear to God, the second I turn the lights out, things reproduce in here by themselves, and I come out here and there's another motor. Where did that one come from? I don't know, right? So small block Chevy, 6 liter, aluminum 6 liter, 6.2 liter, 6.2 liter with a turbo setup on it. Austin's awesome backpack jetpack that we had made for a cosplay costume that he had one time. Awesome bicycle that we had built also with us. That was in House of Color booth. It's just covered in dust right now. It's been bouncing around here. You can see it's all candy apple red with real grinder effect and chains, and there's so much custom stuff. That's been bounced. It's always in the way, but I don't know what the heck to do with it, honestly. And we get into here. This is supposed to be my clean paint booth is what this is supposed to be right here. And it's turned into a crap collecting booth as well. And this is my 70 Chevelle project that I've been kicking around for 10 years plus now. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back to this. I don't know. We're going to see. But this is going to come out of here shortly because that orange truck that's over there is coming in here for the winter time. And we got tons and tons of stuff coming up. But I wanted to give you guys kind of a walkthrough of a little bit of everything. So this is capable of a paint booth. I cleaned it all out here. I got lights in the walls, a separate exhaust system that goes outside, and a separate dust collection system over there for that side of the garage. So other than that, it's kind of boring around here. I get people ask me all the time, hey, since you've been at home and you haven't been working for a few years, do you ever get bored? No, I don't. I don't get bored. Do I get sore and I hurt every day from trying to push myself too far and standing on my feet too much? Yes. Do I use a wheelchair all the time? Yes, I still do. Is everything okay? No, it's not okay. It's not all right, but I'm adapting well, and I'm super stoked what's coming up in the future. And I hope you guys follow us, see what's coming up next, guys. We got tons and tons of stuff. Let me know if you want to see any of these pieces of equipment or know any more information about them. Maybe we'll do a separate video on pieces of equipment individually and stuff as well. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. Who is Building Badazz? Well, that's mostly me. Me and Lukeman has been doing all our YouTube videos. And it's between us and a couple friends of mine. That's it. There's not a 12-person crew or anything. It's just me and a couple friends that are doing this stuff. So we got a lot more cool stuff coming up, guys. We're going to start kicking this in the butt to get this thing going and get this YouTube channel really kicking butt. Can't wait to see what's coming up next. Let's see it. Let's bring it. Let's do something badass. Don't forget to like this video. Click like, throw me a comment, let me know what you think. Ring the bell for those notifications when we get a new video. We got lots more coming up, guys. A lot of cool stuff coming up. I hope you guys are enjoying the ride.